Hello there, and thank you for joining me. I want to talk about something that might feel familiar. Have you ever been trying to sleep and you get that strange pins and needles feeling in your feet? Or maybe you've noticed your hands feel a little numb, making it tricky to button up a shirt or hold a coffee cup. If any of that sounds like you, I just want you to know you are not alone and you've come to the right place. We're going to gently walk through what could be causing these feelings, and most importantly, we'll look at some simple things you can do to start feeling better.
Does that ring a bell? If you find yourself nodding along, please know that what you are feeling is real. It's not in your head, and it really does deserve some gentle attention. We're not just going to talk about the discomfort, we're going to try and get to the very heart of the matter, so we can help protect your precious nerves for all the years to come. All right, let's begin this journey together.
So many people have these exact same feelings, and so often they're told, oh, it's just a part of getting older. But what if it's not? What if it's something more specific that we can actually do something about?
I'd like to tell you a little story about a gentleman named Frank. He was a wonderful man, 68 years young, and his greatest passion was being out in his garden. But lately, that burning feeling in his feet at night was really starting to take the joy out of it. His doctor kindly told him it was just part of the aging process. But Frank, he just had this feeling that it was something more. And you know what? He was right. The real cause of his trouble wasn't his age. It was something he was doing every single day without ever realizing it. And that, right there, that is the big question we are going to answer together. What was this very common, everyday thing that was silently causing so much trouble for Frank? And could it be affecting you, too?
Well, the answer has to do with something called chronic blood sugar toxicity. Now, I know that sounds very complicated, doesn't it? A real mouthful, but I promise you, the idea behind it is actually very, very simple. Let me explain. I want you to imagine that your nerves are like tiny, delicate electrical wires all through your body. Now, when your blood sugar goes up too high, it's almost like pouring a thick, sticky syrup all over those wires. And over time, that sticky syrup can harden and cause damage, making it really difficult for those important electrical signals to get through properly. That's why you might feel that tingling or numbness. The messages from your brain just aren't getting through as clearly as they should.
Now, this is so important, and it's probably the biggest misunderstanding out there. You do not need to have a diagnosis of diabetes for this kind of nerve damage to happen. Even if your doctor has told you your blood sugar is just a little high, maybe in what they call the pre-diabetic range, that can still be enough to start causing these problems for your nerves. It's really good to know that.
You see, the really tricky thing is that this all happens so quietly over many, many years. It all starts when a food or a drink causes a sharp spike in your blood sugar. Then, that extra sugar starts to stick to your nerves, just like that syrup we talked about. And slowly, over time, this damages not only the nerves, but also the tiny blood vessels that bring them nutrients. And eventually, that's when you start to feel the symptoms. It's a slow, quiet process, but the wonderful news is we can step in and interrupt it.
So, if this blood sugar problem is the culprit, where is it hiding in our daily lives? Well, the surprising part is that it's often hiding in foods and drinks that we might think are perfectly healthy. Let's uncover some of these hidden sources together.
Okay, the biggest one of all is liquid sugar. So when you drink a glass of fruit juice, even if the carton says 100% natural, you're getting all the sugar from several pieces of fruit, but with none of the fiber that would normally slow it down. That sugar hits your bloodstream like a tidal wave and causes a huge spike. That's why plain, simple water is always, always your best friend.
Next on our list are things like white bread, crackers, and many of those breakfast cereals we see on the shelves. When you eat these kinds of foods all by themselves, your body turns them into sugar almost instantly. It's nearly as fast as drinking a sugary soda. Now, the key words there are by themselves. We're going to come back to why that's so important in just a moment.
And finally, let's have a gentle chat about snacking. Even if you're reaching for healthy things like an apple or a handful of grapes, if you're eating all day long, what we call grazing, your blood sugar never really gets a chance to come back down to a calm, normal level. It means your poor nerves are in a constant state of high alert and they never get a break to rest and repair themselves. It's often much better to have 3 good, solid meals a day and give your body that peaceful time in between.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the problem. And now for the best part, the good news. There are some very simple but very powerful things you can start doing today to protect your nerves. This is the part where you get to take back control, and it feels wonderful.
If there is just one single thing that you remember from our little chat today, I hope with all my heart that it's this next part. This one simple rule can make a world of difference in protecting your nerves from those damaging blood sugar spikes.
And here it is. It's simply this. Never eat a carbohydrate by itself. That's it. That's the golden rule. So, what does that look like in real life? Well, if you're going to have a piece of toast, maybe spread a little avocado or butter on it. If you're going to have a nice crisp apple, just have a small handful of nuts along with it. That little bit of healthy fat or protein acts like a brake. It slows down how quickly the sugar from the carbohydrate gets into your bloodstream. It's amazing. This picture shows you exactly what we're talking about. When you eat that piece of bread all by itself, your blood sugar shoots way up, like climbing a steep, sharp mountain. It's a real shock to your system. But when you add that little bit of protein or fat, that scary mountain turns into a gentle rolling hill. And that gentle, slow slope is so much kinder and safer for your delicate nerves. Now, besides controlling your blood sugar, there are also some key nutrients that your nerves absolutely love. The most important one is probably vitamin B12. Think of it like the protective rubber coating on an electrical wire. It keeps the nerves safe. The other nutrients you see here are also very, very helpful, but there is an important word of caution I need to share with you. And this is so important. Please do not rush out and just buy a lot of supplements. When it comes to vitamins, more is not always better. In fact, taking too much of a certain vitamin can sometimes be harmful. Guessing is not a good idea. The best and safest thing you can do is have a chat with your doctor. They can do a simple blood test to see if you actually need any of these, and they can guide you on what's right for you.
You know, the goal here isn't always about trying to reverse all the damage. Sometimes the truest victory is simply stopping it from getting any worse, and that alone can make a huge difference in how you feel every day.
Just take a quiet moment and imagine, what would that feel like? To be able to sleep through the night without that burning in your feet waking you up. To feel steady and confident as you walk across the room. These aren't just small things, are they? They are life-changing wins that can give you your freedom and your life back.
I want to leave you with one last story that just warms my heart. A lovely woman in her 70s was so afraid of falling that she wouldn't even leave her home without her cane. It really limited her life. But after she started making these simple changes to her food, her pain lessened enough that she felt safe without her cane. She wasn't completely pain-free, no, but she got her confidence back. And for her, that meant everything. So, as we finish up our time together, I want to leave you with this one gentle question. You don't have to change your whole life overnight. Just think, what is one small thing that feels possible for you to try this week? Maybe it's simply swapping your glass of juice for a glass of water. Or maybe it's remembering to have a few nuts with your afternoon apple. What one small, gentle step feels right for you? Because that one little step, that is the beautiful beginning of protecting your nerves and reclaiming your comfort and your confidence. Thank you so much for listening.